Hello everyone, my name is Katy from Greenland Quilter. Welcome to the channel and welcome to the live. My guest hasn't shown up, so I'm not sure what's happened with that. So, yeah, I don't know what to say about that yet. Let's hope something's not wrong. And so the idea was I was going to interview her and then we're going to sew. But since she's not here, I will sew. Is there anyone here watching right now? Let me know if you're sitting in the chat watching. Hello, is anyone there? Okay. Hey, Lori. Welcome, welcome. I don't know where my guest is, so yeah. So I guess what I'm going to do is go ahead and start continuing on. Since she's not here, because I planned on interviewing her, that was going to be part of tonight's live. I'm going to have to improvise, which is not something I'm good at, and we'll just do the best we can. Hey, Lori, thank you for coming. Hi, Cherry. Hi, Patty. I don't know where my guest is, you guys. She was going to come. I mean, the last time I talked to her was last night. So I don't know what's happened to her. So we're just going to sew and see if she shows up or not. All right. Hi, Mary. So how are you guys today, and what have you been working on, or have you been chilling on a Saturday, not doing anything? So how have you spent your day so far? And let me go get Nora before she starts lifting the roof. By the way, what do you think about the camera view? Don't you, Soda? You are all we need. Aw, thank you, Cherry. I appreciate that. So what I think I'll do for well, one of the things I wanted to do besides the interview and talk about other things is I have this cool book, and we'll talk about this book later in the live. This was sent by a quilter, and she sent me the book because I had posted something, a little meme in my, you know how you can share something to your story? And I had shared it. It was a uplifting meme is what it was. Come to find out, it came from this book. So we will be talking about that in a little while as well, because I would like to read a few excerpts from it because I think you'd find it interesting. The book is really good to have, and you can give it as gifts if you want to try to, if someone's needing their spirits lifted or needs something that has lots of positive things in it that they can read. This book is one of those kinds of books. We had leaks in our koi pond, so had to move rock, put a new liner down yesterday, and now have to put rocks and brick back down, so no sewing for a while. Uh-oh, that's not good. Patty says she's been spring cleaning. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and continue on with working on this pillow that I was started on with all these half square triangles. So I've been sewing them in quadrants of 4, and so far I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 quadrants done. So let's see how many I can continue on with doing on here. And I also discovered that I have a block color that might not be what it's supposed to be, but there's no extras to compensate for that. So I will have to figure that out when I get down to where I got to get. And Lori says she's doing Celtic cross stitch. What's the difference between, is there different types of cross stitch, Lori? Because I've never cross stitched. Okay, so I'm going to get these first 4 and I'm going to sew those together. All right. Do y'all want the camera back on the sewing machine? Because I can move the camera. Or do you want me to wait to see if my guest shows up? All right. So remember, it looks like this, or it's going to look like this. This is the Maze Pillow by Laundry Baskets. And the book that you have to have, the book in order to do the pillows kit is called Pillow Top. I mean Pillow Top, sorry. I don't know why I said top. All right, so let's go ahead and start sewing. And this is this particular sew along I'm doing. I am normally I would press my seams open, but I am experimenting right now with trying to sew or trying to nest seams, and we'll see how it. Uh-oh. Hang on a second, you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one's this way. Got to make sure I got these all going in the right direction. Okay, I'll wait. So we'll go ahead and start sewing these blocks together as well. Had a heck of a time trying to keep an appointment with her. Things have gotten, life gets in the way of things, as you know. And that's what's happened a couple times with her sick child. And it could be that's what's going on, and she just hasn't thought to contact me and say, hey, I can't come. It could be anything, who knows? What do y'all guys think about that quilt top that you can see in the other camera? Do you like it? It's the Stronger Together quilt. This one's going to need to be turned up too, darn it. How's y'all's weather? Hey there, Gladys. How are you? Really, yeah, it's really, yes, it's really colorful, pretty quilt. Yeah, someone said a couple people have made a comment about it being bright and colorful. And because this is about educate, the whole quilt's about education and about the first African American young person to attend the first desegregated school. And all teachers try to make their classrooms bright and happy so that when students come in, it makes them feel good. So I thought I would carry over that bright, happy, in your face colors. So because of that, to to symbolize how that looks for school, you know. I remember in elementary school, everything had big, bright primary colors all over the classroom and posters and whatever the teacher was, you know, trying to teach with. I'm pressing this block, you guys. Well, gotta wait for the iron to heat up. So, how is everybody's weather right now? Tell me about your weather. Hey, Myra, how are ya? Hi, Katie. Just finished thicket for Fat Quarter Shop. Now on to the quilter. Congratulations, Myra. It was fun to do, Cherry. The only one I really struggled with was the upward one, and it was only because I got confused by those half square. Wait, quarter square triangle. Those really confused me. Cloudy and sunny in Oregon. It's raining here in Greenland. Nora, you're gonna get one over. I'm pressing these blocks up so that I can sew them all the way together, guys. Okay. I got heat to it. I'll put my little final roller on here to make sure I got that seam where those points go together as flat as I can make them. Okay, now then, let's see here. We have to have this one turn this way. This is the right direction. And then we're going to do this color. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I have the top piece done, bottom piece done, and then what I got to do now is I got to sew them together at that middle. All right. Hello, Laura Sup. I hope you're doing well. And I'm going to move this other camera. And I don't think my guest is going to show up. I hope I didn't make anybody dizzy. Sorry. I'm just trying to get this camera to adjust. Maybe I have to turn the wrong way. Okay, now let's try it again. All right. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I hope I didn't make anybody dizzy. All right, let's get this sewn. So I just got to join it in the center, and I'm going to make sure I have those seams. And I need to turn a seam a different direction, looks like. Hang on a minute, I got to switch a seam. So I'm trying to make sure I don't get these triangles turned the wrong way. Let's see here. Hi, Katie and everyone. I will be listening, but I am trying to finish a project for my daughter. I make donation afghans and quilts for the NICU, where she works. That's outstanding, Laura. Thank you, Katie. I'm having a very difficult week, and your live is a great distraction right now. I definitely need it. I'm glad I can help. I'm sorry that my guest didn't show up. I'm not sure what happened with her. I'm a little concerned because, you know, generally people send emails, and I didn't get an email telling me what was going on. So I'm sorry about that. Hey, Jess, how are you? So I am by myself tonight, unless there's someone who wants to hop on Zoom with me. All right, so what I'm going to do is first I'm going to line up the center and make sure these two seams are nested. And I like to stick a pin in that right where the seam is at so that I can get them as closely aligned as possible. And since I am trying to do nested seams today or nested seams for this particular block, because I want to practice that skill set because I'm not good at it. And so far, I've managed to nest what I have done so far of the whole block. So let's see how my points come out by the time I get finished with the whole thing. You know, because normally I will press my seams open to make sure that when I get to those points, I have everything lined up properly. But I'm going to wing it here, and we'll see what happens when I get done nesting seams and get the whole thing sewn together. I am working, Jess, I am working on a pattern called, it's a maize pillow pattern by Laundry Baskets. So interesting. You can only see way up here. That's weird. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. So yeah, that's what we're going to be working on today. And we'll talk about a book that I wanted to share with you guys. Thanks to Susan, one of our quilty buddies. She sent the book to me while I was in the United States. I didn't, and it was because I had shared a mem that apparently came from that book. And I've sat and read some parts of the book, and yeah, it has lots of uplifting sayings, and it's about a boy, a horse, and a mole. And, I think it's cute. All right, let's get this sewn together and let's see how it comes out. And I will be doing these in four block quadrants, and then I'll start joining them row by row probably. Okay, so we got this one done. Let's see what it looks like. Points look fine, so let me press it and I'll show it to you. And then we'll add it to the next one and bring up to 4 more. Let's get this thing pressed. All righty. So I'm going to show it to you. This is what this one looks like. Whew, it's hot too. Oh my gosh, it's burning my fingers. Okay, so I'm gonna put that next to the next one. And then once I get all the blocks sewn together as 4 patches, then I'll put them on the design board and show you again before I start sewing them together. Who knows? Maybe I'll get this done tonight. We will see. So I'm going to pick up the next set, get them over here where I can see them. Okay, and I'm probably going to have to do some pressing again because I might not have the seam in the right direction. So we will look on that before I start trying to sew them together. And if I have to press them, then I can. But let me get this over here. All right, so let me see which direction this is going in. This is going down. They're both going down. Okay, so this has got to be turned up like this. This is going to be turned up like that. This is the wrong direction. Going this way. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the iron and move this seam over to the other direction so that I can nest them. Like I said, I'm not good at nesting, but I wanted to try to do one whole block since this is going to be a pillow anyway. And let's test my resolve on trying to do a nested seam because I really want to learn how to do that because I feel like I will never be able to say I am an intermediate sewer until certain skills have been accomplished. And this is one of the skills that I'm not good at all. And so I really want to, let's work on that problem. And it's not a problem, it just means I lack the skill to do it, and let's practice doing it. Okay, so this one's been pressed. Now we're going to sew or pin these 2 together. Make sure that I can get them nested properly. Turn it upside down first. Line the other end up first. I tend to like to do that first. And then I'm going to come back up here. And when I get the seams to nest, I want to make sure that they're lined up right here like they're supposed to. But I'm also going to stick a pin through the seam and then through the other side, the other little square seam, and pull that needle through. And then I'll go ahead and look again to make sure it's nested, even with the pin in. I could have went further down on the pin, I think. But yeah, it looks nested. So now I'm going to pin that side. And then I'll sew it. And then let's go ahead and pin these. Now these two I do not have to nest seams with, because these two seams are going in opposite directions, where I don't have to line it up with the other side. So go ahead and pin them, and then we will sew them. All right, so how is everybody today? I know some have told me how their weather's doing. Some have said what they're working on. Been a while since I've done a live by myself. Okay, Nikolai's still in Denmark. The ship is, I think, about to be pulled out of the water now. Somewhere around June the 6th, I think they're going to finally pull it out of the water and start and have it in dry dock. But they've been doing stuff on board while they're waiting their turn to go into dry dock. Okay, I've sewn both those. So let's go ahead and press them open. I don't know why that looks off. Okay. And this is going to be the same thing. I might discover that I have to turn that center seam a different direction. So when I go over there and look at it, we'll see if that's the case. All right, I'm going to go press these with the iron. Looks like I got the seam turned in the right direction already, but we'll make sure of that. Yep. Okay. So now we're going to sew those together. Thank you, Patty. All right, let me see what all y'all said. Beth says she loves the colors, and hi, Beth. Hi, Terry. Hi, Vicki. Who else walked in here I missed? Hello, Beth Ann. Oh, okay. How am I feeling? Couldn't get into the doctor. They don't have enough staff. So I'll try again next week. How do I feel? My throat is still bugging the tar out of me. I still feel tired, but the biggest problem with whatever this sickness is I have zero, and I'm not lying, because it's not, a lot of times, my husband will tell you that I'm not always a big eater. I don't eat food all the time. I don't, because I don't usually experience that hunger thing. And because most of that I think might be broken or something. But anyway, not to get off track, whatever this sickness is, I do not feel like eating at all. I mean, there is no appetite at all. And I really don't know why. It's just, I've had this nausea going on, and I think that has to do with the stuff coming from my throat. I don't know. It's weird. So what I'm going to do again here is I'm going to make sure I nest these two seams together, and I'm going to use the pin to make sure that I can keep it straight. And then she says, once you get used to nesting, you'll find it to be a game changer. I hope so, Patty. And Jess says you can do it. Beth says I'm sewing together rows on one of my quilt tops in progress. Awesome. And Patty says she likes. She says you're good by yourself. And Myra says perfect. All right. So let's get this next seam done. Did you guys see that the channel finally reached 70,000 views? Taking a long time to get there. On this particular block, because there is a point, you got to make sure that when you're lining up the center, the center, you want to make sure when you're aligning it that you put that point where it's still sitting in the 1/4 inch. That way you don't run over the point and end up with a cutoff point. And that's another reason why I like to use straight pins, because I can align it as close as I can. I want to be like Tiffany, where she just sews down the seams and they're always matching. She's such a good teacher. Okay, so let me make sure I got this lined up before I go finish pinning. Do the same thing on this side. And I'll take the pin out of the middle. That way I don't get it caught in the sewing machine, because it's sitting there not doing anything. All right, let's get this done. And I always like to watch where that needle is going when we get close to a point. That way I can try not to run over the point. Because I would rather it, mostly match up than have to go back and loosen the center, the middle of the seam and fix it. So let's see if we got it lined up properly or not. See, now this one is not lined up. Look, can you see it? Can you see how it's off? So I'm going to just rip out the middle and fix it. Thank you, you guys. I've been a little bit worried because it seemed like for the longest time there was, for about 2 months, well, probably from the end of February until, I don't know, a week ago, there was no movement. And I was concerned that, well, maybe something's wrong with my videos and people aren't enjoying them or something. But maybe it was just a lull in their analytics. I don't know. I'm not complaining, guys. Don't think that. I want to succeed in this. I just really want to succeed. And you're probably seeing me touch my face a lot. That's because of this sickness, and I'm sorry. I just can't seem to keep my hands off my face. All right. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking out that very middle seam, and I'll show you what I mean by that in just a minute. I learned this from watching Kimberly. Instead of, because I would just have took the whole seam completely out and started again. But she showed us how you could go in the middle of where you're trying to, when you're trying to nest these seams here and they don't line up, and you discover it's a little bit too off for your taste, you don't have to rip from end to end out. You can just rip enough for you to work in, and then you can just gently go back in there and realign it again. And then when you got it nested, then pin it where it can't go anywhere. And then all you have to do is start a little bit above where you broke the seam and finish a little bit below where you finished the seam. That way you're not having an empty space missing a seam or a stitch, I mean. I think y'all know what I mean by that. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is go back over. Gonna make sure that I don't accidentally cut my point off of it while I'm fixing this. And I have got where I want it to be, right in the pocket. And let's see if it's better. And if it's not, then I'm going to leave it. You're right, Patty. It's both of them's been very low. And I didn't know if people have gotten bored or what. See, it's still not fixed. So what would you guys do? Would you leave this alone or go back and try one more time to line it up? I know I need to fix it so y'all can see me not moving it so much. Hold on a minute. This is why nesting seam sometimes teases me, because you can't get it to line up. Do you see the misalignment there? Would you leave it or fix it? Here, let me press it and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, now you'll be able to get a better look at the middle. Try opening your seams and see if that works. I don't know how to spin the seams. So leave it or fix it. It looks like it just shifted, just like not like 2 threads over looks like what it did. Anyway, leave it, leave it. It may be just me, but if I see a mistake, I can't unsee it in my OC. No. Looks on point, leave it. Okay, I'm going to leave it. Hi, Maritza, how are you? So we got the next one done. And let me lay it up here with the next one, or next to the next one. All right. Okay, now what I'm going to do is pick up the next 4, which will be the last row. All right. Okay, now this last one, make sure I have my triangles all laying in the right direction. Boom, boom. Now, see, this is where I ran into a problem of where it wanted another turquoise, or not turquoise, teal, and there isn't one. Because, yeah, what I ended up with was an extra one of these where that's supposed to go. So, because I can't contact anyone about this because they no longer sell this, I'm going to have to just leave it as it is and use the other color in here, and it'll have to just be okay. So this is this way, Mhm. Excuse me. All right, so let's go ahead and sew these two together. And I don't have a seam to nest here, so I just need to pin it and sew it. Hi, Andrea. Welcome, welcome. And we'll get it pinned and sewn. And then we'll do the next one. Same thing, we don't have seams to nest, so I'm just going to pin the block to make sure that it stays the way I want it to stay. That way we don't come up with a problem. But sometimes you get a little bit of bias stretch and it might offset the block just a little bit. So pinning it and then, you know, laying it where it's supposed to be flat while you sew it helps with that. And we'll go ahead and do that one. All right, got that side done. Okay, so we're gonna have that one laying that way. And then this one's going to lay this way. So one of these, I have to turn the, yep, we're gonna have to turn this one. That way I can nest the seams, because that's what we're trying to learn how to do here today, is to nest seams. All right, so now I got the seams pointed in the right direction, got the blocks laying the way they should be. So now what I'm gonna do is take it over to the iron real quick and press it. And then we're going to sew those together in the middle. And I'll let you see what I'm doing. I'm going to trim off this thread tail so it doesn't use up the bulk. Okay, so now what I got to do is make sure that the seam nest in the middle. Trying to get that camera where y'all can see what I'm doing. Okay, so anyway, I want to nest here to this one. So what we're going to do is flip it. I'm going to get a pin, and right where the point is at, I'm going to put the straight pin right through the top of that first point, through the top of this next point, so that I can nest them. And before I pin the middle, I'm going to go ahead and pin each corner first, or each end first. That way it's not moving around when I get ready to pin the center. Do the same thing on the opposite side. And before I, yeah. So now what I'm going to do is look at the seam and make sure it is flat against each other. And it looks like that it is. So I'll put 2 pins through there. And then we'll take that center pin out, because I don't want it to get stuck in the bobbin hole. All right. See if I need any extra pins. I probably should put pin in right here in this section because it's a little bit stretchy looks like. And I don't want it to stretch. Okay, so let's get this sewn together. And then when I get to the center seam, I always slow down pretty much because I want to make sure I don't touch that point that I'm trying to make sure stays. All right. Let's see how this one looks. And this one's off by like a couple threads. Hi. Go up and read my comment about helping. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me see what you said about it. Okay, where's the comment? Try pinning just beyond the nesting seam and hold the fabric in place when you take the pin out. Okay, I'll try that. So what I'm going to do is take just a little bit out of the middle here so I can realign it. I really want to conquer this way of sewing. Because if I can learn how to nest things, I won't have to spend so much time having to press everything open. I mean, I don't mind pressing open. I think it makes great flat seams, especially when you have a zillion points somewhere. All right, I've taken, I think about maybe up to an inch out, or broke the seam about an inch long, maybe something like that. And then I'll go ahead and pull that seam apart and make sure I get all the loose threads out of it, because we don't want that showing up in the sew, causing bulk. Okay, I've loosened it now. Let's get all this out of here, all this debris. Check the back to make sure there's no debris. Okay, now I'm going to retry again and do what Patty suggested. Now let me see if I can realign this thing again. Okay, now I'm going to put a pin in. You might find this strange, but I'm some of you know that I'm angle challenged, so that's why we have to really be careful how I lay my triangles out when I'm putting them together. But I like messing with the triangles, which is funny, especially if it's pinwheel making. I think pinwheels are the coolest things. And it might be because I liked pinwheels when I was a child. You know the pinwheels that are on a stick and you walk around and let the wind blow them in a circular fashion? I loved playing with those. Because there was just something fascinating about the movement. All right. I need to get this out because we're going to start in the middle of the seam. And let's get that lined up. And let's try again. That says hold the seam. Okay, now take the pin. Okay. Let's see if this fixed it. Yep, it's good enough. All right, let me press it. This is the next one. Oh, this belongs to this one. So this, and this, and this. Uh-oh, I think I made a mistake. Oh, I did make a mistake, you guys. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh. Try turning your pins pointing to the outside. You won't need to take the pen out then. I haven't figured out how to do that without poking myself. When you just, wait. All right, wait a minute. I got to backtrack here, read everything everybody said. All right. Cherry says, take pen out one stitch before pen. Take pen out one stitch before pen. Hold seam down with finger. Patty says, when you nested the seams, pull the top of the fabric down about 1/4 of an inch and look to make sure it's lined up. And then you can repin if you need to. Patty says, this is hard to text. This is hard to text help rather than show in person. I understand that. Luane says, can she add you as a guest and then you show her? If Patty wants to do that, I can do that. Sherry says, try turning your pins pointing outside and you won't need to take the pen out then. And Patty says, nothing is perfect, so try not to worry about it. After it's quilted, you won't see it. And Patty says, Luane, I'm not set up for that. Okay. All right, well, let me, I've discovered I made I turned my blocks the wrong way, looks like. I did. I don't know how I did that, but all right, you guys, I'm gonna have to take this one apart all the way. Sorry, but this is what I was talking about when I told you that I am angle challenged. It's very easy for me to get my half square triangles turned in the wrong direction, and it looks like I did. So we're going to fix it, which I don't mind. I hope it's okay with you guys. You get to see me fix a mess up. But the pillow's coming along, and you know, by the end of the sew, we'll probably have the whole block put together because there's not, you know, other than getting the smaller stuff done first, I don't think it's going to take that long. I just got to be patient here and fix this so I don't make that mistake again. I thought I had them turned the right way, but sometimes I get confused. Or my eyeball sees one thing, but my hand does something else. Am I the only one that accidentally turns half square triangles in the wrong direction on a regular basis? What's your take on doing half square triangles? Do you have that same problem? Or do you have tips and tricks about how you make sure you don't mess up turning them the wrong way? Share with us in the channel how you are able to accomplish triangles, you know, the direction of triangles without having to constantly take them out because you turn them the wrong way. Like me. Time to forget. Rip it, rip it, rip it. You know that, hey, Luane, do you know the song called Whip It Good? We should make a song called Rip It Good. Let's rip it good. Listen. I think the song is by Devo or someone like that. I think that's their name, the band. Let's rip it good. Man, I'm having trouble getting that middle seam out of here. Come on, cooperate with me. I don't want to accidentally put a hole in my fabric. Okay. Looks like I got it out that time. All right. Now we got that apart. Get all these little loose things out, and then I can figure out where I went wrong, and because I'm gonna have to take probably all the blocks apart because I turned the triangles the wrong way, especially the one on the bottom. I hate when that happens, but that's what makes me practice makes perfect. That's right, Patty. Time to frog. Rip it, rip it, rip it. And Patty says, make sure your pieces are correct, then pick it up that way and sew. Okay. Joy said, hi, Joy. How are you? So blessed by Jess. I make one block and then keep looking back at it to make sure I've pieced it correctly. Yeah, I know what you mean by that. And as we can see, I should have been more attentive that I had them turned the wrong way. But that's okay. This is a learning curve. This is part of the process, and it's all good. So, how many people on this channel is getting rain today? We're getting rain. It's been a chilly, dreary day, and the ice has come back into the fjord. Oh yeah, which reminds me, how long are we into this now? How many people's watching? Because I want to make sure I don't have to repeat myself. Because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen next weekend. Maybe. Let me have a look and see how many's watching. Right now, it looks like 18. Y'all probably can help spread the word just in case. I won't know probably until the middle of the week. I'll have myself set up for a live on Saturday, but I'm not going to set up for any guests or anything, because if I get a phone call in the middle of the week saying, are you ready to go on Friday? I can say yes. And so what that means is if I say yes, that means I'm not going to have a live next Saturday. I do have a pre-record that I am working on, and y'all need to stay tuned and keep an eye out for it, because I think you're going to love it. At least I hope so. It's part and it's part of an unboxing, but I'm going to also be sewing what came in the box. And yeah, so I'm teasing you with that. It's something I'm sewing together from a box that I've recorded unboxing it first, and now I'm making something out of the fabric. And then I will put that video up, and yeah, especially if I don't have a live on Saturday. So the next question you're probably going to ask is, well, if you're not having a live Saturday, where are you going? So if everything works out, because we were supposed to have done it this weekend, and then something happened with my friends. He owns a so his name, him and his wife's name are Torben and Ellie. They Torben has a regular boat. It can sleep 8, I think. It has a little mini kitchen in it, the whole 9 yards. So that when they leave here, they can go several days, depending on how far out they go anyway. And but Torben also owns a shrimping company, a small shrimp trawl. He has a small it's a small shrimp trawler, not the factory part. So it's tiny compared to what the ship that my husband works on, but he makes a good living with it. And they were his son had called him and said, there's something wrong with the boat, we can't steer it properly. So he canceled the trip we were going to go on to go up there to find out what's going on with the ship. So hopefully he'll have all of that rectified. And so here's what's going to happen. Friday afternoon around 1 o'clock is usually when he likes to leave port. we're going to set sail, and I won't come back until Sunday. Now, you're going to say, well, what are you going to be doing? Well, I definitely will be coming back with lots of footage, you guys. There's going to be icebergs. I'm hoping that he'll have the time to let's stop by the ice cap and have a quick peek. He's going to go mountain bird hunting. And me and Ellie are probably going to go bird egg hunting as well. And I will definitely create some content with the egg hunting. My husband said, yep, he would like to have some for me to bring some home. So I don't like the taste of the eggs, but he does. But it also occurred to me that I could feed those eggs to my dogs too. So I'm going to bring enough home that him and the dogs can enjoy the bird eggs, because it'll be nice and tasty for the dogs for sure. And my husband loves it. So this trip, when we go out, we'll go. If we're going where I think we're going, it's going to take about 3 hours to get there, and we will not have internet, no cell phone, no nothing. It will be out in the middle of nowhere with no way of contacting civilization other than an emergency satellite phone. And so for 2.5 days, I won't be able to communicate unless I can get high enough up a mountain that might be close enough to use my cell phone. Possibly, but that's only ever happened once in all the times I've gone out with them. But I definitely want to get lots of nature. I think I need a break from, not you guys, that's not what I mean. Sometimes when you go out to nature, like here, and you're gone, and it's just you and God and who you went with in nature, it is so mentally refreshing. So I should come back refreshed and not have all these cobwebs in my head I have right now, because I'm experiencing a little bit of depression on top of it. And I think this will lighten my spirit. And when I come back, I should be feeling a lot better because I've gotten out and got lots of fresh air. Hadn't been sitting in the house sewing all day. There's nothing wrong with sewing all day, so don't think I'm complaining. I'm not. And, that's what we're going to do. And, who's going to take care of the dogs? My friend Hanifa, the same young lady that takes care of them when I go to the United States. I didn't mean in the next couple of days, Wayne. Can you just see if you have future spots and just get back with me on that, if you don't mind? Katie, is it too early to promote our sew along coming up? Who's sew along? Oh, the one on at the end of June. No, let me get I need to get a thumbnail made. Let me get that made this week, and I'll send all of y'all a copy of the um thumbnail. And yeah, let's get on with advertising. That's a great idea, Wayne. I hadn't even thought about that. We hadn't hit today's June the 1st. Let me go press these again. Okay, now let me make sure I get this turned the right direction. Move my mouse out of the way. Oh, I know what I did wrong now. Okay. This has got to be turned this way. And this one's turned this way. And this one's this way. And the one that's missing the green or the teal, I am going to have to use that extra orange square that I had, and it's going to have to go here. Okay. All right, got it. Now let's see if I can get this done right. Okay. Y'all gonna miss me not having, but at least I'll have left you a couple pre-records to watch. Are you guys okay with all of that? It's just I need to go out to nature. I need it. I really need it. And I haven't been away from town for a while, so. And it's probably going to be one of the few chances I can get off because tourist season's starting. But so far, there's been cancellations with the cruise ships because there's too much ice in the fjord, which sucks because that means no money for the economy. So, while I'm out sailing next weekend, is there anything you would like me to document while I'm out that you might want to know about? I'll try to document as much as I can, but I'm not sure what all of y'all are interested in. I do know that he's going to mountain bird hunt. And I don't know. I was thinking about asking him if he saw a rabbit, maybe he could shoot a couple of rabbits so I could feed them to my dog. I guess I should think about buying a gun and getting him to take me hunting with him. It's just I don't know that I can't hike that far up the side of a mountain as good. What I should do is ask my husband to learn how to shoot a gun. And let him go hunting with Corbin. I know how to shoot a gun and I know how to hunt, so that's something my father taught us girls. Okay, let's press this one in this direction or this way. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and press this one seam in the direction I want it in. That way it's laying the way I want it to. And then this next one is going to go in the other direction. All right. Okay, so what I want to go do is I'm going to go press it real quick. All right, I'm going to lay them face down to each other, and then we're going to get those 2 points lined up first. Who is going to take care of, okay, so when Wayne says, so did y'all who are doing the Wild West Cotton Cut PMQ, did you get your colorway and which one? Mine sold out, so sitting this one out. Oh, Wayne, did you put yourself on a waiting list? Just in case they are able to get more of that fabric and offer it? Andrew says, I totally understand the need. I am solar charged too. If I spend too much time inside, I tend to get depressed. My doc says it is not enough. It is not getting enough vitamin D. Yeah. So this will probably, it should help. I definitely will come back energized and probably tired. I'll probably be tired for 2 or 3 days afterwards when I come home. Got to regain your land legs after being on water for 2.5 days. And it's still a little chilly, so I got to make sure that I take some warm clothes with me. But I should be able to get some magnificent sunsets and stuff as well. When and if it gets dark anyway. All right, let me get this turned down here like Patty suggested. Let's make sure this sucker's side by side like it's supposed to be. All right, now let's put a pin there. Now I'm going to take it to the other side so I can do it on the back side as well that way. I notice when you're lining the seams up and you're pinning, I like to pin from both sides because it seems to help get, I don't know, it might not be doing any good. But to me, it seems like it does help doing it like that. All right, now, let's see. Okay. Ouch. Oops, got to take a pin out. Oh, it went together. Okay, good deal. Let me pin it or let me press it. Okay, here's the next one, but it's not lined all the way upright. Can you see the misalignment? But I don't think I'm going to mess with the misalignment on this one. Let me hold it up so you can see it again. Can you see the misalignment? And the next one. I love the outdoors. Anything you find interesting to share, I will love, I am sure. Wayne says, Andrea, that is why my sewing table is next to the window so that I can get some solar energy. I need to go here. White and orange is going to go down here. And the teal and whatever color that is, green, is going to go there. Okay. All right. So I got them laid out the way they need to be. And we're going to go ahead and do the same thing again. We're going to make sure each corner is joined properly. I'm going to pin it. Okay, that's done. Let's get this one pinned. Okay, so we have two seams coming together on the bottom. And I think that I'm going to have to turn one of them the other direction. Yep. So hang on a second. I got to turn the seam the other direction. Okay. So when I turn them together, I'll be having to nest that seam on that one end. So that's why I had to turn that one seam the other direction so that I could do that. Hey, honey. I'm on a live. Okay. Cindy Soray? Yeah, I don't know. Is everything okay? Okay. Okay, you sound tired. Okay. All right. Okay, later. Bye. That was Nikolai. He's going to bed because he's on Denmark time. Still up in Denmark. Okay, so I've got these two seams over here, I believe, nested pretty well. At least they look like they are. Yep. All right, let's get these two sewn together. Okay. Take these apart. Let me go press them and I'll be right back. Down there. Here. Okay. Let's make sure we got this thing turned in the right direction. Orange, white, teal, green. And then up here, it's going to be green, red. All right. And the seams will be, yep, I've got the seams pointing in the right direction so that I can nest them. Ah, Nora, stop. Uh-oh, that didn't go in right. Okay, so I've got that part done. Let's get the corner to corner done first. We're going to have one more set of 4 to sew together, and then we'll be able to start putting the whole block together. One more to go. I need to take care of some things. If you're still here when I get back, we'll see you then. Okay, sweetie. Leaving this playing for your watch hours. Thank you so much, Andrea. Wayne says, Lord knows I needed it today, as did a double live, so trying to pay attention to 2 screens and sew was exhausting. What is a double live? What do you mean by that? Do you mean 2 lives back to back, like what you would be doing if you were working 2 shifts? Or do you mean you were running 2 lives at the same time? If you were doing that, I don't know how in the world you accomplished that. Because that sounds like too much technology to have to keep up with. Sounds like somebody's shooting off fireworks in the daylight. Andrew says, oh, okay, got it. Already read that one. Thought it was another comment. Anyone making anything new this week? They just, or has anyone started a new project in the last couple of days? And if you have, what have you been working on? Okay, let's take that center out. Stick that pin in right away. Oh, yay. Well, I don't have to pick this one out, you guys. Okay, so how's this one supposed to be sitting there? This is the center one. So it's supposed to be like this. Okay, so here's the next one. Wayne says he took a break from his potato chips. You did a live on TikTok. No, I thought I set up a TikTok account, and then when I tried to log on to it the other day, it didn't even recognize me. So I don't know if it's because I took too long to mess with it. I was having trouble navigating it, so I gave up for a few days. And then those few days turned into more few days. Okay, we're going to lay this one next to it. And now we're going to do the next set. And then I'll put it all on the design board for you to see. All right, so this one's going to go there. This is going to go there. So we have 2 points coming together again here. So one of these is going to get turned the other direction, which will be this one. And I'll take the iron to it to make sure it lays down flat. And there's that one. And then we have a white and a red. And a white and a red. So we have another set of seams coming together. And it's the same thing with this one. I'm going to have to turn one of them in a different direction. All right. Okay, so let me go press these so that they lay flat. I think so too, Cherry. Cherry says she's working on a finished UFO and getting my quilt tops quilted on my long arm. I wish I had a long arm. But I don't. All right, let's get these seams nested. And I'm going to peel it down to make sure I did that correctly, and it looks like I did. So let's put a pin in it. All right. This one done. And we got to get these seams nested also. And I'll check it to verify that I did by peeling down one side of it. Yep, looks like I have. So let's pin that one. All right. Now we'll sew this side as well. My dog is snoring under the desk. He's curled up in this little tight ball, snoring. I'm going to go press these. All right. Now we're going to have 4 seams coming together on one point on this one. Okay, so first things first, let's get the pin through those points so that I could try to get the points as close together or close aligned as I can. Making sure the pin came out where it was supposed to. And the same thing with this one, putting it through the same seam. And I'll line up the corners first. Pin it. Then go to the other corner, same thing. And pin it. Now I'm going to take a good look at this and make sure I have the seams nested together like they should be before I do the main pinning of the center, while trying to keep that point from being sewn into that seam that's going to go down that side of it. So I got my first pin in. Let's get this second pin in. If I can get a hold of it. Huh. And then what I'm going to do is just put a couple extra pins in for stability, because I don't want it moving around. All right, let's get this one sewn. Okay. I'm going to creep up here on that middle seam because we have 4 seams coming to one point. So I want to make sure I can hang on to my pin for as long as I can before I have to take it out. So I'll take that first pin out while holding the fabric. All right. All right, let's see what that 4-way seam looks like. Okay. All right, let's press it. And this is the last quarter block. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get them all onto the design board so you can have a look at them. And then we will start sewing them together. Okay, this is what it looks like before I pieced all of it together. So all the quarter blocks are done. Now all I got, and the quarter, there's it's a 3 by 3. So I have 9 blocks to sew together. What do y'all think so far? Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to sew them 2 at a time to start with. And I don't know, exactly how I'm gonna do it. I'm probably gonna do it like sew it 2 to, do 2, 2, 2, 2, and then join each of those together, and then do the seam down that one side, and then sew all of them together. Yeah, I won't get upset. Y'all like it? And I'm glad you could help me because, thank you. Okay, so let's get started on sewing each part together. I'm gonna sew this first one together. And I got seams to nest and everything. And I already see a problem. We're gonna have to turn one of these seams a different direction for nesting. Oh, orange red. Okay, so let me go. No, wait. Yeah, I got to press one of the seams a different direction. So I'm just going to pick the second block and do it to it. Someone's probably going to ask, didn't the pattern tell me which way to press? No, it didn't. Not in the book. It didn't have any arrows. Otherwise, they might not have all this confusion we got going on with which way the seams need to be. Okay. I'm trying to get this to stay put somewhere where I can look at it. Okay, because I'm a visual learner and I need to make sure I have this correct now. Yep. Okay, and seams will be able to be nested now. I just need to get all this excess thread off that seam. Okay, let's get this pinned. I'm gonna pin it corner to corner first. Thank you, you guys. All you have to do is buy this book, Qaqortoq, and you will find the maze pattern in the book. Yeah. Uh, See, it's very easy for me to get things turned around wrong. Okay, now let's get a needle through the points so that I can nest this seam. I'll let you see the book up close in just a minute. Hi, Robin. And I can, if needed, I can always go over to Qaqortoq webpage and see if they still are selling that pillow top, or you might could find it cheaper on Amazon. Okay, let's get that pinned one more time on the other side. I want to make sure that seam doesn't move. All right. And we'll get that center pin out. Okay. Now, which end do I want to sew this? All right. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is try to keep this pin in here until the last minute. Take the first one out, got the needle in the seam, and I remove the other one. Okay, and then we got this going on. Let's clip it. See how the, uh-oh. Oh, it's way off, you guys. Look. Can you see it? I need to move it over a smidget. Ah, these seams. Hey, Rocky Robin. How's your day been, Robin? As soon as I get this seam fixed, I will show you the book again. So yeah. I'm gonna have to make something to drink too. What time is it? Wow, I've been going almost 2 hours already. It's 8:44. Where'd the time go? Too much messing around, right? I'm a slow sewer. All right, I got the seams broke, so now let's pull it apart. And I'm gonna try one more time. Let's see if we can't get this lined up properly and hold the seam the way Patty mentioned. Because I must not have held it long enough. Or I didn't have it lined up properly to start with. One of the two. And like I said, like we were talking about here, this is a learning thing I'm doing today. This is me learning how to sew by nesting seams instead of pressing open. We're going to get it done, you guys. I'm not going to let it whoop me. And then I can have bragging rights. Oh, look what I did. Nesting all the seams on these half triangles that normally I would never in a million years consider doing. But I really want to learn. That's the thing. I want my skill set to be better. Because I would like to eventually get myself out of that beginner's title and maybe into an intermediate title. I mean, the title doesn't matter. That's not what I'm saying. It's just it would be nice to be able to say that I'm not because I don't even know that I consider myself an intermediate sewer because there's so much about quilt making that I still don't know how to do. I don't know how to applique at all. Now I do know how to reverse applique. I know how to do that. Compliments of sugary do. But outside of that, I don't know enough to even try taking on a project yet. What else do I not know how to do? I still haven't learned how to free motion quilt yet. What else? I don't know how to do EPP, but I really haven't gone out of my way to try to learn how to do that yet. Because that's the same thing, you know, EPP and sewing by hand. That is the other thing. I want to learn how to hand sew. And because I feel like that's a skill that I should have already had from making clothes, but my mother, she would just take whatever I was sewing together and do the hemming and do the sewing down and facing instead of sitting down with me and showing me how to tack everything down properly and how to hide knots and how to make sure you don't have this weird sewing going on through the bottom of, like through a hem or through the facing, because you don't want either one to be seen, by people, because hems are not so the hem line should not be seeable unless you use a machine to do it on purpose. Sometimes I used to do I used to make a lot of wraparound skirts because I really loved wearing denim wraparound skirts because we couldn't wear pants, so that was the next best thing. And so I was constantly making wraparound skirts because I just loved them. They had that big flare going on, and I could take the sewing machine and actually sew the seam down like you would a pair of, and make it look very denim-y, like you would a pair of denim jeans, with that seam that you can see going down the side seams of the legs and the waistline and stuff like that, how they decorate it. I would do that with my wraparound skirts. Yeah, I need help, Patty. That would be great. Okay, let me open it and see if I fixed it. It's better. Look, I got it. Now let me go press it so you can have a better look. Okay, now that I have that part done, okay, so here's with two sections sewn together. Go ahead and sew on that third piece. And I have to press the seam the other direction. So I'm still pressing the seam. Sorry, guys. I needed that one seam to lay down better. Okay. Now that it's been done, now make sure I have this block going in the right direction and everything. Okay, let me get these extra threads off of it. Okay, So before I forget, let me show you the book one more time for the pattern of this pillow. It's called Qaqortoq. It's an Emma publication. This is Edda Sitar and Laundry Basket Quilts. The whole thing is her stuff. So yeah, it's a really nice book. All right. Let's get this next seam sewn. And if you put it in the seam, sometimes it distorts the seam so that when you remove the pin, it moves. Oh, okay. I did not know that, Patty. I thought by having the pin in there so that I could put those two extra pins in and then pull that center out, it would be stay aligned better. All right, we got the corners pin. Now let's get these seams nested. Okay. And do it on both sides. So now I got pin cover. I think I need to go through all of my pins and pull out all these bent ones that I've bent over the last few months, pushing them through fabric and stuff. And sometimes I get a little aggressive and accidentally bend them, and then they're like useless because they don't want to slide into the fabric right. Okay, so now we're going to sew this on. We'll see how it looks. Jess says I hand sew in the car when we are out and about. I'm working on two of Pink's Queen of Diamonds. I thought about because I'll be out on the boat when we get, when we go in for the evening, sometimes we sit around and talk and drink tea and have a snack or whatever. And sometimes they'll go to bed earlier than I do, and I have a harder time going to sleep anyway. But I usually take a crochet project with me so that I can keep my hands busy when I'm just sitting doing nothing at night. And I thought about doing that, but I also thought about I could take enough of my technology with me to edit videos if I can't sleep. It's something to do. I'm having a hard time trying to get my laptop to let me sync my earbuds. It won't let me sync them for some reason. And it's probably something I'm doing wrong. Because I have Bluetooth on the laptop and the earbuds are Bluetooth also, so it should sync. So I don't know why I'm having difficulties with it. Okay, here's the first row. What do y'all think? Hexies as a flower garden. That sounds cool. The only hexies I have done are half ones, and then you sew two pieces together. Just as doing diamonds. The way says I'm doing EPP. I want to do another tumbler quilt. That was fun. Isn't the cutting part of the tumbler quilt a pain in the butt though? All right, let's start sewing the next two together. And I definitely, it's funny. Let me turn these upside down. Yep, I got to press one of them, seem a different. Wait, what in the world? Okay, it's all good. I'm fine. I thought I did something wrong. Okay, so I need to turn the seams in a different direction. So let me go do that with this one. All right. Let me make sure that I haven't turned them around again. Okay, we got this the way it needs to be. So let's go ahead and turn face to face and get them ready for nesting. Hi, Beth Ann. Thank you guys for the compliments. I bet this is going to look cool when we get it all sewn together. What do y'all think? Who'd have thought the colors would have come together so good? I mean, I would have never bought any of these. Well, the blue, I like the blue one, the blue fabric, but I wouldn't have thought about um, making something with these funny colors. But it turned out this is really a nice color to work with. Okay, so first thing I will do now is get my seams nested, and then I'll put some pins in there to hold it in place. And the other way, so I can do it on the other side as well. So let me ask you guys something. When I get the top done, do you want, would you be interested in watching either a live or a pre-record of me using the book? Because it gives you instructions on how to make how to turn it into a pillow and everything. Would you like to see that step also? Because I know I have some pillow filling inside the house, so I don't have to worry about that part. So yes, you would like to see the whole thing finished from quilting to pillow form till it's ready to sit on the sofa. Would you like to see that whole part of it too, or are you just fine with just seeing me put the block together and that's it? What say you? Hi, June. How are you? Yeah, it definitely would make a great fall quilt for sure. The colors are exceptional. I don't know what. Oh man, it's not lined up, you guys. It's all off to the side again. Ugh. All right, happy, happy. Let's go back and fix it. Me and this little seam ripper's having a definitely big day today, but I'm all good with that. No. See, I know if I did open seams, I wouldn't be picking this stuff out because the seams would have been perfect. Well, you know what I mean by that. However, this is me trying to step outside my box. So it's okay if I have to do some picking. Let's rip it good. Just don't put a hole in it. I had to go to the store today because I had to go buy food for the dogs. Well, I got some stuff for me, but most of it was for their food plate because I have to buy fresh meat and stuff. And I ran into my boss, and she says, because see, I couldn't work the other day because I still have this sore throat. And she asked me if I was any better. And I'm like, I still have a sore throat, but the dogs have to eat, and I don't have no one to go dog food hunting for me. So I'm out in public whether I want to be or not. And she told me to take it easy and not to worry. And when I got better, I could come back to work and that kind of stuff. And besides, the cruise ships have been canceling because of all the ice. Because there's a bunch of ice in the fjord again. Yeah, last week when I was up there before I got sick, most of the fjord was open. I mean, you could see some ice, but the ice is the ice that was that you could see, it wasn't interfering. It wasn't like clustered up into this big flat sheet covering water. And so people could come in and go, come and go as they wanted to in their boats and stuff. And I'm pretty sure that there has been quite a bit of seal hunting already going on because a couple of locals posted pictures of their seal kill the other day. There's going to be lots of fresh food in everybody's freezer for the summer so that when winter comes, they don't have to worry about food. Because we just cannot depend on Denmark getting our stuff here. The stores, the local stores, have really been hurting because we haven't been getting stuff. And I've resorted to buying cases of chicken legs, a whole case of chickens, or like whole chickens in the case. Chicken wings. I've been buying them by the case just because it's taking so long for the container ship to get here with all of that kind of meat, and I need to feed my dogs. And they go through a case of chicken legs a month. And sometimes I give them, I'll take a whole chicken and cut it into like quarters and feed that too. But we'll be coming home with, this summer we'll be getting more fresh salmon and stuff, and so I'll be able to feed the dogs that as well. And I want to get them some cod because we didn't have any cod to feed them last year, just salmon. And it's fixed. Got this seam fixed. Let me press it and I'll show it to you. My husband said that, hang on. My husband took some whale meat and whale blubber to Denmark with him to take to his sister. And he made whale soup when he went to spend the weekend with them last weekend. And he said that she was just in heaven getting to eat Greenlandic food because it's so expensive to try to send it from Greenland to Denmark for some reason. So this is the two together. So now let's get part 3 of this row together. And then we'll be down to the last row, and then we'll be sewing all the rows together. All right, let's get this next one on. But we need to see which way these seams need to be turned. Yep, let's turn this one. Alrighty then. Okay, so we're going to have 4 more points coming together again. So was everybody up for the watching actual pillow making too? So far I see 2. Let's see. Robin says, I'll watch. Lori says, show the whole thing, start to finish. Okay. Beth says, I would watch the actual pillow making too. Cherry or Sherry says, yes, it's all part of learning, says Lori. I'd love to watch the process. What work do you do, Patty asks? During the summer months, I am a tour guide. And I've been working for Sagalands, which is the name of the tourist shop here, or office business. It's called Sagalands. And I've been working for her for, I'll be here 13 years in August. So I've been working for her about 11 and a half years now. And every summer, so mostly what I do, sometimes, so the short of it is sometimes I get to go out to like the ice cap sometimes, but mostly my job now consists of the tannery and the city tours. Last summer, I didn't do any city tours because she had me inside the factory taking tours around to see the tannery itself, how sealskin is processed and stuff. Because our town has the only it's called Great Greenland, and it's the only fur house in all of Greenland. So everything's sent down here from all the rest of Greenland for processing and tanning the sealskin and turning the sealskins into jackets and snow pants, boots, hats, mitts and gloves. Everything you can think of that you would need to live in the Arctic. Because especially if you're living up north, synthetic jackets and pants are just not enough because the wind goes right through it. But I don't own a seal jacket because for 2 reasons. One is it costs about 12,000 kroners to have one made. That's about $1,800 in US dollars. Secondly, I have adapted to the Arctic quite a bit, and I've gotten where I don't use a parka during the winter months down here. I just use a light jacket because I can't stand, even with a light jacket, I can go in the and by the time I get to the grocery store, I can feel water running down my spine. So I get hot easy. And so I've started wearing less clothes. Sometimes Nikolai will say, you really need to dress warmer than that. And I'm like, there's like many reasons why I don't want to wear so many clothes. One is the idea of having to put on all those clothes only to take them all off again. You know what I mean? And the other thing is parkas are heavy and they weigh you down and you're carrying other things and you're walking in the snow and it's tiring. All right, let me see what I missed here. Jess says I'm working on 1-inch hexies for the flower garden quilt shop. Patty says, hooray. Robin says, Jess, I'm doing 3/4. Oh, how far along are you, Robin? That's 18,000. Wow. I bet you haven't even made a dent in it yet. Jess says, bless you. Wow, Robin. Jess, I'm looking for a 1/2-inch punch. The quilt I want to do is the La Passion, which is 18,000 1/2-inch hexagons. Have the pattern. And Patty says, interesting. Jess says, interesting. And I'm working on Showering Stars. It's a pattern I saw on Ian's channel. And I'm using Cape fabrics. Very colorful. And I went to Legoland with my son for Mother's Day. It's so much fun. Oh, that's so cool, Linda. Anyway, besides the fur house, the city tour consists of the colonial part of town, along with the church. So in my tour, this is what I do. I do town square, and we talk about the buildings that are there that's been there since the late 1800s. We have 2 buildings. One's the museum, and the other one is the old church. Both were prefabricated in Denmark, built, prefabbed, built, took apart, put on a ship, and sent here. And one of them was in 1784, and the other one was 1830 something on the church. And then there's some that were actually built there. And then I go from town square to the local fish market so that I can educate those who think that Greenlanders abuse nature. And then they discover, wow, all the rumors we heard are not true. Yeah. So I do that. And then from the fish market, we go to the old church. And we'll talk about the church. And then from the old church, we go to the smithy building where they had a blacksmith at work. He made bands for these big, huge barrels that you see all around Greenland. They have steel bands around them. They look like you know how you have the wooden vats for wine or whatever. Well, these barrels are big, but they're open. And what they did with those back then is they would process whale fat into oil. And the oil was used for lighting, cooking, different things like that, fuel. And the Greenlanders also would trade it from things when people would come through wanting to trade. All right, here's the next row. Thank you for coming back, Andrea. And I'm glad you're feeling better. 4,000 done is, wow, wait. Okay, so row 2. And I had it upside down. Sorry, guys. It's supposed to be like this. All right, let's start the last row of getting it together. Turn them upside down. Yep, gotta fix the seam. Ouch. Okay, we've got that seam flipped. Or I thought I did. Wait a minute. Let me see what I did wrong. Oh, I just got it turned upside down. That's all. It's the way it's supposed to be. Okay, it's ready for lining up. Okay, let's get this done. Andrew says, wow, awesome. You got a lot done while I was gone. Yep, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Let's get these two corners pinned first. And then you know what? When we get the third piece put on this one, we will have all three rows ready for sewing together. That's going to be interesting. Trying to get all these seams to nest properly. Okay. We've got one more thing to go in and then we sew it together. Right. So we're going to crease back up on this seam again so I don't accidentally get the tip cut off. Ah, this pin is being weird. All right, I'm going to remove the first pin. All right, now the second pin's out. Okay. Laura, stop doing that. There's nothing under that carpet. Oh, no. Okay, here is the first two sewn together. Um, what is the difference in a 6/6 and an Acu quilt cutter? I just got a Go cutter and oh my God, love it. Rama says, Jess, there's a lady that's out here that cuts her own hexagons with a ruler and a box cutter. That's interesting. I bet I wonder how many times she's cut herself with a box cutter. Pat Booth says they're pretty much the same, Wayne. Mine is not electric, it's a hand crank. And then Patty asks Robin, is that Katie at the last homely house? What's a homely house? And Jess says to Robin, I've had to look her up to see. I reused my hexies multiple times before throwing them away. And Andrea says, it looks like you got your half square problem worked out. Yep, we did. Or, yep, but I had them turned around a couple times and I had to undo them and fix them. But yeah, I've got it resolved now. Unless I see something well after the fact that I did wrong, but I don't think I got them wrong this time. Okay, let me see if I need to change. Yep, got to change the direction of this one too. Okay, let me get that one up. Make sure I have them turned in the right direction. I do. And now they're ready for me to nest them. All right, so let's get them nested. First this in. And we'll do the other end. Okay, now let's get the center lined up. And do the other side. Okay. Okay, now let me have a look at the center of this one. Oh my gosh, it went. Okay, let me press it and I'll show you row 3 and then we'll start sewing them together. Move, baby. I don't want to accidentally run over your feet. Okay, let me make sure I got it turned the right way. I think I did something wrong on this one. Oh, something's wrong with this one. Ah, I think I know what I, wait. Wrong is right there. I think I sewed something wrong together. Okay, let me take one apart and try again, you guys. I don't know what I did wrong, but I did something wrong. Unless I'm looking at this one, but I don't think so. And I don't know how I could have made that mistake. This part's right. It's this part that's wrong. Okay, let me take this off. Sorry guys, but we might not get it done soon enough. Where's my seam ripper? Okay, let me get this one taken out because it's the way it's supposed to be. There's something about the other two that's wrong. I must have sewn them on the wrong sides or something. I wonder if she knows Adam from Adam Sews, as he is in England too. Who are you? Wait. The Last Homely House is another YouTube culture channel that she's thinks she's in Australia. Patty says England. Just says I enjoy watching her channel also. And Luann says, okay, show you how well I know accounts. And Luann says, I wonder if she knows Adam from Adam Sews. And Andrea says, are the two lights supposed to be together? No, there's something wrong here. So that's why I'm taking it apart. One of these got turned the wrong way, I think. See, this is me at my finest when it comes to angles. So you're right. There was something wrong with it. So let me rip out this one first, and then I'll figure out what I did on the other two that made it wrong. Because I thought I had them right when I had them laid out, you know, in quadrants, 4-patch quadrants. So it could be I just turned one of them the wrong direction. No, Nora. We'll get fed soon. I brought home some fresh cut up beef cubes. Y'all are going to enjoy tonight's dinner because you're getting fresh beef that's been cut into cubes and what was the other one? I think the other one was pork or something. And I bought a lot of ground beef today because I think I'm feeding too much bone to Nora. Her. Did you guys know that when you feed your dogs a raw diet, that their toilet habits change? And you're like, what do you mean by that? There's less of what they put out of their bodies than you would see with kibble. Even Coda's is a lot less. And that's one of the advantages of putting a dog on a raw diet. But I noticed it looks like I'm feeding them too much bone. Because when you feed them too much bone, what comes out of them is kind of a weird color. And that usually indicates Not enough meat and too much bone. But you know what I discovered that it's hilarious watching these two dogs' habits of how they eat their food. And what ranks as number one, because what ranks is the number one thing versus what is less. So if I put ground beef or ground lamb, well, let's use beef to start with. Ground beef, uh, a couple of chicken legs, or a piece of chicken, depending on what I'm taking the chicken from, and or chicken wings, and add either a duck leg or lamb, and then I leave the egg whole in Nora's bowl. She can, because she knows how to crack it and eat it. And Coda won't eat the eggshell, so I just crack his and put the goodness in it and let her have his eggshell. And I watch both of them and how they eat. And do you know what let's see how many people can guess. What do you think was the first thing that both dogs ate out of their bowl? Out of that, I told you I put ground beef, chicken legs, or some part of the chicken, and lamb. And duck. Which do you think that they would eat first? I don't think they get hungry faster, Andrea. They see you making food and that means they want to eat. Because the idea is to keep weight off of both of them. But Nora, if I feed her too much meat in her diet, she gains weight, which is not what I want her doing. So I cut her back. I think I've got the ratio just about right with her. Of course, she always thinks I'm starving her, but I'm not. I don't feed treats to the dogs. I rarely feed them treats unless it's, you know, fish or something that's fresh. Okay, so Andrea says first choice would be ground beef for her dog. Eggshells are full of calcium. Yes, they are. Okay, I got this one block off. So, and I know that this block there's something very screwy about this block. Oh, I took it off the wrong side. Okay, this and this, this and this, this and this. Okay, so this block here is right. It's this middle one that's, oh, I just got them backwards. That's all. Oops. All right, let's take this other one out. My baby dog pretty much ate what I ate, Wayne says. French fries are the worst thing on the planet to be feeding your dog. So here's how my dogs rank their meat. If lamb is in the bowl, lamb gets eaten first. If duck is in the bowl, it gets eaten first. Now, if there's not either of them and it's just chicken and ground beef and ground pork or cubed pork, hamburger gets eaten first, the pork gets eaten next, and the chicken is saved for last. With Nora, because I put the egg whole in her bowl, she always eats the egg last. And the extra shells I put in her bowl from Coda's egg, she saves those for last too. And then you can hear her in there, crunch, crunch, crunch on the eggshells. It's pretty comical. But now if fish comes into play, everything else is forgotten about because of fish. They literally inhale the fish. But I want to see if I can't get some rabbit meat from some hunters so that I can freeze it for about 4 months and then feed it to my dog. Because I think that I think Nora especially, since she has that hunter's nose, would really enjoy eating more nature food. That hasn't been full of whatever human beings put in them when they're raising them. Now our lamb here is grown here in Greenland, and that they eat off the land. The lambs do. So there is no antibiotics or any of that kind of stuff put in their diet because they literally graze off of Greenland's green stuff. The dogs also like blueberries and raspberries. And they like pumpkin. Okay, I got this one apart now. Let me pick it and get all the loose stuff out. And then we'll see if we can't get this straightened out. Sorry, guys. Okay, I got that one picked out. I'm gonna go press them to get these creases off of them. Are you talking about the two whites on that flying geese? Are you talking about that one? Because if you're talking about that one, it's supposed to be like that. All right, let me figure out what I did wrong on the other two, because this one is the end block. So that one's fine. The next one is supposed to be the green. Okay, so this one's supposed to be in the middle, which is what didn't happen. And the one on the end, all right, all I did was sew them backwards. That's all. I must have turned one of the blocks upside down. Okay, let me retry doing this one more time. Let's get it turned. I'll set this one aside for now. And let me get them pinned, and then I'll look and see what all y'all are saying. That is a debatable subject, Robin. Some say no, some say yes, some says it depends on where you buy your pork from. And after watching homesteaders and the way they take care of their pigs, man, my mother and dad never had their pigs living the way some of these homesteaders pigs do. And I'm like, the stuff that they feed them and throw into their pens while they live on this big, huge mud heap is disturbing. My mom, she would put all of the, leftover stuff and byproducts of cooking for the family into what she called the slop bucket. And but the slop bucket also had she would add animal feed to the slop bucket, and then she would fill it with half full of water so that when she hauled it out there to the pig, it was all wet, sloppy mess. But my dad had built he had taken one of those 100-gallon drums and cut them down the middle where you could turn them into feed bins, and my mom would dump that slop into that. They did not eat their food on the ground in the mud. Now in nature, if they were running loose, they wouldn't be eating. They waller in mud and stuff, of course. All pigs do, but they also forage for roots and insects. That's why they can tear up so much land by digging this stuff up. But feeding a pig garbage, unhealthy things, I just don't see how you get good meat out of it. All right, the two whites together, then together is what I'm talking. Okay, hang on. Let me get to that point. When they were sewn together, two whites were together. Okay, Andrew, hang on. I just sewed one. Let me make sure this is correct. Okay, so here's two of them together. And according to the diagram, that's how it's supposed to look. The only thing different on here, let me show you. And it's because there was not that colored half square. Okay, we are working on the bottom row right now. Okay, and so I've sewn this one and this one together. But do you see where there's another teal right here? There was not another teal. There was an extra orange, but no teal. So what I did is, because I can't buy a replacement, I ended up putting the orange where the teal was supposed to be. Do you see that? See right here? There should have been a teal one right here, but there wasn't, so I put the orange there, and you can't tell that that's a mistake. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to attach the next block, and I think I have it correct this time. Okay. You're gonna have to move your butt a little bit, maybe. Interesting. I was told to freeze any kind of meat like that for at least 3 months before feeding to my dog. It's the same thing with fresh caught wild salmon. I freeze it for 3 months before I start feeding it to my dogs. Oh, that's pretty cool, Wayne. Sounds like a really good livestock guardian dog. I wish I could convince my husband to let me have chickens, but he keeps telling me no. No chickens. Yeah, raising your own hogs has to be a lot better. But again, you still have to be, I can't, I don't agree with some of the conditions I've seen some of the pigs living in, because I know my mom never let mine live like that, or hers. Yeah, they always had a mud hole to lay in, but mom never put food in the mud ever and asked for pigs to eat it off the ground. They would, of course they would. This is not laying down right, but I already know why too. Because I picked it out one too many times. My mom had this one pig. She was one of those red rock, I think they're called red rocks. They're a red colored pig, but they get enormous. They can weigh up to like 300 pounds. And but she bought the sow. She bought the sow as a baby because she was going to breed her so that she could sell baby pigs. Because back then there was a market for that kind of thing. There probably still is. But anyway, this female pig, she turned into a big pet. She would stand on her back legs with her front feet on top of the gate. And at 5 o'clock every afternoon, you could hear her screeching from the back of the property. And the screeching was, sorry, the screeching wasn't because she was upset or anything. She was hollering for my mother. Because she knew at that time every day my mom was going to come down there and slop her food and pet her and talk to her, and she would just be this. She was always this happy pig. She got so big. She was so enormous. But she gave my mom quite a bit of few piggies. My dad always processed our pigs. He never took the pigs to the slaughter market. The only thing he ever had processed for him was if we killed a cow. That got took to the slaughterhouse to be done. His dad didn't have big enough place to be hanging the cow up to gut it, so he would just let someone else do that. And but pigs and deer, he processed all of that. And my mom would do the same thing with chickens. So I was raised that way. Okay, here's the all right, here's row 3. Look better, you guys? Exactly, Andrea. When they're getting to forage 300 on land itself, I don't see how in the world they could make unhealthy meat. But I can see how they could have unhealthy meat if people were feeding feeding their pigs in the mud instead of into some kind of feeding system where they're not eating bacteria and stuff. Okay, here's what it looks like before we sew the rows. Okay, so let me see what time it is. Oh my gosh. Okay, I could save this for the next live to finish the rows, and then we can, or I can, okay, let me make a poll so I can get your opinion on this. The question is, do you want to see me sew the rows together in the next live? That's your, wait, hang on a minute. That's the first question. You have to choose one or the other one. Or do you want to watch me or do you want me to sew the two rows or 3 rows together, to sew them together, and then start the pillow process next. Wait, no. Let's see if I can add another one. Okay. You can only choose one, okay? Uh-oh, something's wrong. Must contain 1 to 35. Oh. Hold on, bear with me here. Okay. Let's see what y'all have to say. Blocks look great. You've been talking a long time. Do you feel like you need a break now? Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I just want to get a poll on what you would like, because I can save this. So here's your choices. I can save this and sew the 3 rows together on the next live, or I can sew them off camera to have it ready to go. And then on the next live, we do all of the pillow process. Which would you like? Choose one of the choices, and then we'll talk about that. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Beth. Yeah, I've been going 3 hours, over 3 hours actually. It's about to be 10 o'clock. No, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10 o'clock is 3 hours. So right at the 3-hour mark. Okay, let me see what the verdict is on the poll. So far, finished pillow on live is 57%. 43% says sew rows together next time, and 0 for sewing off camera. Sewing them off camera, that was supposed to be off. Okay. All right, so we'll do both online or on a live. Okay. All right, so what I can do is, this is a Saturday. We'll do some more on it next Thursday, and I'll get all of my moving parts that I need to make the pillow, you know, cutting the fabric and stuff. I'll get all of that stuff pre-cut so that when we sit down and we sew the rows together, then we can automatically start making the pillow form and getting it ready to go. And I need to find a zipper too, probably, because I haven't decided if I'm gonna do the zipper style or if I'm gonna do the, what do you call it, the fold over style. I don't know which one to make yet. So I'll have to decide by reading the book, because I have to read the directions in the book. Okay, so thank you everyone for coming. And I'm sorry that my guest didn't show up. I am so very sorry. I don't know what happened. Hopefully she'll write to me and tell me, because I really wanted to talk to her. She was another one of the designers for the Stronger Together. So you guys have a great rest of your day and all day tomorrow. Make sure you live, laugh, love, dream, and make sure you create something. So thank you for tonight and have a great night and see you on the next video.